In this video, I'm teaching you how you can get this neck done on your outfit. So watch. Okay, here is the fabric you're making use of today, and the front shoulder slant went down by 3 inches, like normal 3 inches. Then I added about 2.5 at the back. And please, I want you to know something in this video. I used a neck of 18, and I wouldn't advise you to do that unless the person's actual measurement is about 20. When someone's neck is 18, you should minus 2 inches and do it 16. Are you hearing me? If you make that 18 neck measurement, it will be a bit wider. So let's get to it. And now you have to cover off your neck. I don't know how you get your neck measurement, but here is how I do mine. You have to cut it off, and you see, you just have to cut it off this way. The measure is about 18. So from the front drop, like you see where I'm measuring from the front drop, you measure about 5 inches. If you're measuring from the back all through, it should give you about 9.5. I think 9.5 years. And from the front drop you measured, you have to take a 1/2 inch measurement inward it, 1/2 inch. You see where I measured was about 1/2 inch, and I will explain why you should measure 1/2 inch. And the reason is that 1/2 plus 1/2 is about 1 inches. Then I will still measure extra 1/2 inches for the sewing allowance. That when you sew from the extra 1 inches I measured, like I'm making a total of 1 inches, but I'm cutting through 1/2 inches. Then that extra 1/2 inches will be for the sewing allowance. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Like if you make it total of 1 inches, like you cut through the total of 1 inches, it will be a bit wider. Like after adding 1/2 inches for the sewing allowance, it will be about 2.5. But we need that place to be 2 inches at dot. So you have to measure 1/2 inches, then extra 1/2 inches for the sewing allowance, making it total of 1 inch. So at this neck now, you see, I also measured the same thing I did down there. It was the same thing I did up here. The first 1/2 inches and the second 1/2 inches, and the first 1/2 inches is the one we are cutting through, then leaving the second 1/2 inches now for the sewing allowance. Hope you get what I'm saying. So here is what I'm doing. And you see me cutting through the first 1/2 inches. I didn't extend my scissors to the second 1/2 inches, that is making it 1 inch. Thank you. So you saw that I dotted the front part of this outfit, the front part of the shoulder. I dotted it. We are coming back to it. So don't do away with this particular piece at the front. Don't do away with it. We are using it to measure the lapel at the front. Now we're going to make use of this. So I ran out of fabric for this video, so I just looked for a already made outfit there, and I teared it. So you see what I'm struggling with. Then you just have to measure your, you remember the front cape we got from that front measurement. I told you not to do away with it. So you have to cut this particular piece a bit wider than it, because you subtracted 1 inch from that particular front cape. You adding that 1 inch here, and pay close attention and see how I got that 1 inch back. And now you have to gum it. You see, It got me very well, and you cut it through. I pray the owner of this clothes don't come back, because it be war. So you see what I'm doing? You iron it down, and you just trim off where you make use of. Should be a bit wider and a bit longer too. So you pick this piece. You remember it, right? So here is how I got my 1 inch back. Just pay close attention. You see, I'm measuring about 1/2 inch from that front. You can use 1 inch, you can use 1/2 inch, and if you use 1 inch, the overlapping will be like, you know, now shirt, you know how shirt overlaps each other. I think if you use 1 inch, the overlapping will be a bit finer, but I'm using 1/2 inch here, so I'm measuring 1/2 inch from the down too. Can use 1 inch. I think 1 inch would be better, but for sake of clarity, I'm using 1/2 inch. So here's what I'm doing: 1/2 inch from that front. See, that's what I'm explaining for you now. 1/2 inch from the back. See, it's 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch all through, 1/2 of an inch, 1/2 of an inch, 1/2 of an inch. You can do 1 inch here. I would prefer you do 1 inch, don't do 1/2. And just stitch it. If you do 1 inch, then I think after closing it, you can trim off the excesses. So you just have to trim it. You see what I'm doing? 1/2 inch from the back, 1/2 inch from the front. Then you still don't do away with that front cape, and you have to do that to the both side of your flap, your neck. This thing, you see, is into 2. See, at the end of the day, when you place it together, you see the neck is coming out already. The down should be 2 inch, and the total of that measurement after I overlaid it was about 3 inches. 1/2 inches here, 1/2 inches here, 1 inch is gone. Then you'll be left with 2 inch. And I marked it because I know my eyes. I don't trust my eyes. My eyes can deceive me. So I have to mark it to get my straight 1/2 inch measurement I took. So yeah, here is what I'm doing. And I beg you, don't use pen or any visible marker on your dress. So here, just for leisure sake, so that you see it. That's why. So you just have to stitch it, and make sure you don't exceed the 1/2 inch you marked. You should sew at that exact point. Don't exceed it. Then later you just cut open right at that place you started threading it, and you make sure that your scissors don't go beyond it though. So after everything, you have to turn it over. You have to turn it over, and you stitch the down like you're stitching your back inner pocket, the side. Here is it. You make sure you arrange it very well, and you can go to the table and iron it down, or you just do it the way I did it. You just stitch it. So you see, as you can see, you see how the thing is looking. You see the look now. And after, you just have to trim off this part to remove the excess fabric, so that it won't be much thicker at this shoulder part. You have to trim it off. a bit, it helps for your work to look more neater. When you just leave it that way, the thing it won't be fine. So you just have to trim it a bit and iron it. And at the end of the day, you can see what is looking like. Forgive my cooler, I don't use a wooden one. So later, here is it, here is it, and you're still going to cut it together with the back. You still bringing the back to get the shoulder slant and everything, so here is me placing it. You still make sure it's at that 2.5 inches. You see, you get it. And here is how you place it. Here is how you place it at the back. And the half inches should be out. You see this. So we subtracted 1 inch total while cutting out that front neck measurement. So, and we added 1 inch to this piece we used at the front. So if you shake well now, we have made use of half inch and it's remaining half inch, and that half inch was that half inch at that front. You see, if you shake closely, I subtracted half inch. I don't know if you're getting me. Half inch is gone, is remaining half inch, and that half inch should come out at that front. You see what I mean? That's half inch. And after, you have to place that front piece you made use of, you have to place it back to get the actual neck curve you got before. You have to make use of it. Then after, you have to rule it. Don't forget to add half inch for your seam allowance. So you cut it off. Then I hope you understand it. I know you understand. That half inch is for the seam allowance. You don't cut it at that exact half inch. Thank you. So after getting it, here is your neck. Here is your neck. You see it. And at this point, you can see what we got. Then you have to join it. You join it. And there's one part you have to pay close attention here. You grab the neck together this way, as I did. You grab it together, and from the front, like, you just look and see what I'm saying. From here, like from the front here now, you measure about 1 inch. You measure about 1 inch. You take it. You see, you don't notch it to go deep. You just, to show that that's where you marked. It's not really for anything. And you start your measurement from that exact 1 inch you marked. That's where you start measuring your neck. And I think after the measuring and everything, I think the neck is about 18 point something. About, I think we're just doing 18 on this particular outfit. So here we go. And then you see, that's the neck we are making use of. You just prepare it and you stitch it. And after sewing it, here is the look before you iron it. Here is the look before you iron it. And you just have to hit it up and press it to get it smooth and so you see the result of our practical today. So this is how you make it. and I'm sure if you're doing your own, you pay much close attention, so it'll be much neater than mine. You see, here is it. Here is the neck. Here is the neck measurement. Please kindly like and subscribe for more video. Thanks.